Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick breakdown of my GPP selections this week. Basically, I've already delivered a podcast, which going for two as well. It should be either pinned or it should be on the Facebook page. Let's go ahead and do a quick breakdown. I like Drew Brees at home this week. He had an over and under 53, 8,500 on FanDuel, 7,900 on Draftkings. He had about a 13 pack, according to my projection on my spreadsheet, he had about a 13.5% ownership projection. I love Drew Brees this week, as I like him to stack him with his wide receiver Brandon Cook at 7,500. On DraftKings, I believe he's priced like 7,600. So I like that stack together. Drew Brees is amazing at home. We all know that. Anytime Drew Brees is at home, he gets about 342 yards, 2.6 touchdown average compared to his road splits, which are horrible. The Panthers have allowed the fourth highest yard per attempt figure in the league at 8.4. I will be targeting that game because it's the only game that has a high over and under over 53. It's the highest over 48. But at 53 over and under, I'm going to be targeting that game quite a bit. The next player I'm going to be targeting at quarterback will be sorry, I already said Drew Brees. It will be Russell Wilson. He's 6,900 on DraftKings and 8,400 on FanDuel. I like Russell Wilson. He has a minus 6.5 spread on Vegas. That means they're going to be blowing them out. You can't. I love when Russell Wilson plays at home. I always try to target him because he's always very low owned, and I don't think a lot of people will be on him. According to my ownership projection of what he's supposed to get, he's about 5.5% owned. So I really like his ownership as well and his GPP upside. If you do stack him with Jimmy Graham or Doug Baldwin. More than likely, I'll be stacking him with Jimmy Graham because he's actually more. It allows me to put those mid-tier wide receivers instead of just putting Doug Baldwin in there. But I like Jimmy Graham. The other quarterback I'm looking at is Marcus Mariota at 7,600 on FanDuel and on DraftKings. He is 6,100. I absolutely love that price. And last week he got a 60-yard touchdown on running, so the coach has said that he does want to get him to run the ball more. So I really like his upside there. First, the Cleveland Brown. Cleveland Brown are among the worst in the league at giving up points to the tight end as well. And I really like Delaney Walker in this spot to stack him with him. So if you could do stack him with Delaney Walker. Marcus Mariota, he got 4 touchdowns last game, about 30 points. So I really do like him in this game. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the running back positions real quick. At running back, I would name about 6 running backs that I really do like and I'm going to be on. I would name a 2 top tier and a mid tier, and then a value pick. Everybody's going to be on Le'Veon Bell. I'll be on him too, but I'll have my shares of him. I do like to rotate my running backs. Le'Veon Bell is facing the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins actually don't have the worst run defense or anything like that, or a terrible run defense in the red zone. They just allow a lot of yards because they're out on the field so much that because of the offense of the Dolphins, they do a lot of 3 and out, so causes the defense to be out on the field a lot. I like Le'Veon Bell more on DraftKings for sure because he is a PPR monster now. He's lining up at wide receiver. He had over 12. He had over 12 snaps at wide receiver position last week, so that really gives him more value. And his touches are just incredible. People should really just Le'Veon Bell through 2 games lead all running back in snap shares at 93%. Touches, he has 26 touches per those last 2 games, and he's touching about 45%, 49.5% of the shares. That's pretty damn good. And it's a minus 7.5 against Miami that was just barely lit up by DeMarco Murray And nothing to DeMarco Murray. I think he's a great running back, but Le'Veon Bell is better. The other running back I like, it's going back to the Brown game, is DeMarco Murray. They are favored by 7.5 to a defense that has allowed 25.9 PPR schedule adjusted points to opposing running back. Murray leads the league in all red zone touches, and he has let's see, yeah, and they have the highest score projected basically in the red zone. So I really like DeMarco Murray in this position, and I will be stacking him with the Tennessee Titan. As for my other running back, it will be Christine Michael. Actually, it will be LaShawn McCoy. I apologize. LaShawn McCoy is an 8-point home favorite against the 49ers defense, and they have allowed 100 yards rushing yards to about to about four players, 14. Fozzie Whitaker got 100 yards. Who else got 100 yards? Can't remember all of them. I got it in my notes real quick. Let me get it pulled up for you guys. Okay. Yeah, they allowed 157 yards and 2 touchdowns to David Johnson. They allowed over 100 yards and a touchdown to Ezekiel Elliott. Christine Michael got over 100 yards. Fozzie Whitaker got over 100 yards. This team just allows a lot of yards and touchdowns. So I really do like LaShawn McCoy in this position. And people got to realize he is facing Chip Kelly. He has a lot of hatred towards Chip Kelly. So that's a narrative street. And as well, he bought 20 tickets, according to his Twitter, for Cop. So you can tell he has kind of a motivation to put on a good game. So I really like LaShawn McCoy in this game. I can't see how he doesn't have a great game. And really, they're really depending on him a lot. So I will be on him quite a bit, as well as many people, because he is projected ownership about 17.50%. Le'Veon Bell has a 35% ownership, and then DeMarco has 21%. And then the other guy, which I will get to in a second. But I like LaShawn McCoy. Jordan Howard at, let's see real quick. Jordan Howard had been getting a lot of shares, and he's going to be, I think he's actually going to be kind of a GPP ultimate play, because everybody will be on all these other running backs. But Jordan Howard has proven week in, week out that he can do the work, he can take the load. So I'm really on him this week. He's still pretty cheap. He's not too expensive. He is, let's see, 7,700 on FanDuel, and on Draftkings, I believe he's 6,200. Yeah, 6,200. So that's a pretty good price, and I'm going to be on him. I think he could make a top tier elite play this week. So I like them. So, and my the GPP player that I will be on that really can be really high, boom or bust, is Ezekiel Elliott at 8,100, and then on DraftKings he's at 7,000. I like him more on FanDuel though, because DraftKings I don't really like to pay up for running backs that are risky, and he's a perfect spot for that. But anyway, so basically his ownership percentage is supposed to be about 10%, and that's pretty low for a running back that has the potential to get 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they're going to be depending on him because of what Green Bay can do. So, because Green Bay, the offense, you need to keep the offense off the field in order to win the game. Personally, I think Aaron Rodgers sucks, by the way. The other running backs I'm looking at value running backs. Value is really tough this week, so you really have to be really flexible on your roster. There is some breaking news lately that Ryan Matthews didn't practice. He's out with an illness. So I'm wondering if this illness is pretty serious. It caused him to go to the hospital. We got to remember when Chris Ivory went to the hospital, he was pretty sick too, and he got an illness. So there's anything crazy could happen. And if that was the case, I would be on what's his name, Darren Sproles, and I would have some shares of Wendell Smallwood, but it depends who the coaches say is going to get more of the shares. But at value running back, I'm looking at Mark Ingram at 6,700 and a high over and under game of 53. I really like Mark Ingram. He's also cheap on DraftKings if I'm correct. He's 6,000. So in a high over and under game, Mark Ingram could have gone almost like 4 touchdowns the last game, but John Kuhn took away 3 of them. I'm not worried about that because the Chargers defense just blows ass at the red zone. And Luke Kuechly and the linebackers they have there, they won't allow 3 touchdowns to John Kuhn versus the Panthers defense. The other value running back I'm looking at is Christine Michael at 7,400. I absolutely love Christine Michael as my value running back. He will probably be my highest owned value running back. Christine Michael is a home favorite against the Falcons defense that's ranked 28th versus the running back according to the DVOA. He handled the ball 22 touches, 22 or more times in both of his last games that he started. He's finally just playing really well, so I really like him. And he has a minus 6.5 favorite, so I think that they're going to be running the ball out. And I will stack him with Seattle's defense or the kicker. So I like that. He's supposed to be really lowly owned too. No one's talking about him, so I like that. Because if he goes off for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns, I'm going to be way ahead on the field. Let's see. His ownership is supposed to be at 6%. So that's pretty low for me, and I'm willing to take that risk. So I like that. Another value running back that we have to keep an eye on is Giovanni Bernard. So, because Jeremy Hill has been dealing with a lot of injuries lately, so if he does sit out, Giovanni Bernard could open up. On DraftKings, I do want to say that I really do like Tyrod Taylor at quarterback and Alex Smith at quarterback for their prices. And then at running back for DraftKings to be cheap, I really like Carlos Hyde, and I love Jamal Charles' price. I don't like Jamal Charles' price on FanDuel. I'm still thinking on it if I want to play him on FanDuel or not, because he still is pretty cheap. But yeah, I like Jamal Shaw, Carlos Hyde, and I even like Bobby Rainey on DraftKings because if he's still in that PPR row, he can get 14 points. He's gotten over 13 points the last 2 games. That's meeting almost 4 times value. At wide receiver, I'm not going to pay up for Antonio Brown this week too much. I will have my shares of him, but it'll only be if I like my roster. But I'm looking more toward the mid-tier plays. I like T.Y. Hilton at 7,900. On DraftKings, he is 7,700. T.Y. Hilton will be one of my higher ownership players for me. And I see him being owned about 15% according to my projection. So I like him quite a bit. T.Y. Hilton, he leads the league and he has 10 or more targets in every game this year, and he's on pace for 112 receptions. So, luckily, he loves him. And Forsett and all these other ones, Philip Dorsett, not Forsett, all these other weapons for luck, they're just not panning out for him. And Hilton is his favorite player. The other player I like at mid-tier is Jarvis Landry at 6,900. And then on DraftKings, he's even cheaper, I believe. He's 7,700, my bad. But either way, Jarvis Landry's ceiling is so high, and in that game that he's going to be high over and under with first Steelers. I really like that. The other guys I'm looking at two correlations this week that are going to be very popular for me. The number one is going to be Brandon Cook and Kelvin Benjamin. I'm going to be going back and forth on them. It's called the push and pull theory. Or I'm going to do Brandon Cook and Greg Olsen. But that's my number one. After that, it's going to be Jarvis Landry and Antonio Brown. And then after that, it's going to be Jeremy Maclin and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper and Jeremy Maclin are two wide receivers I really like this week. They're both 7,100 on FanDuel for Amari Cooper. Jeremy Maclin 6,900 on FanDuel, and then on DraftKings he's 7,600 and 7,500 for 7,500 for Amari Cooper and then 6,300 for Maclin. They both have the upside and they both have the matchup. Philip Gaines will be on Amari Cooper, which he really sucked. I put a note out there for a lot of people to see that what's his name? Philip Gaines, not Marcus Peters, will be lined up on Cooper's side of the 94% of the time. So Gaines should draw Cooper in a coverage that's the majority of the day. As Cooper spends 54% of his route on the left side, Gaines has been thrown at 13 times and yielding 15 yards per target. So he's getting burned really deep. He's been an opposing quarterback target for nearly 22% of the time. He's allowing about 0.34 points per route ran. So I love Cooper this week. I think he's in an excellent matchup. I will be exploiting him. So yeah, I really do like him. But another wide receiver I like is Marvin Jones, 7,700. A lot of people won't be on him because he's been kind of quiet the last two games, but I think he can actually explode in this game because he has a matchup against a cornerback that's very weak and not strong as him. As well, height differential is very different. So I think Marvin Jones can take advantage of the matchup. My top quarterback wide receiver stacked, which I will go over right now because there's a wide receiver and quarterback. My number one is going to be Drew Brees, Brandon Cook. My number two will be Big Ben, Antonio Brown. Number three will be Marcus Mariota and Delaney Walker. Number four will be Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin. Number five will be Russell Wilson and Jimmy Graham. As you guys can tell, I have a lot of tight end stack, but it's really variation how you do your lineup. So for my value wide receiver, I really like Michael Thomas, Tavon Austin, Cameron Meredith, and Chris Hogan. I'm not going to name the prices on both sides because they're all cheap value run prices, so you guys can look them up. For my defense, I will be playing the Buffalo Bills defense against Colin Kaepernick. I don't think Kaepernick is going to be ready. He will throw interceptions too. But I like the Tennessee Titans defense against the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, their offense is just horrible. And then for my GPP ultimate play for defense is going to be the Chicago Bears. I really like the Chicago Bears this week as they let's see. Had a note for that. Jacksonville Jaguars are 7.2% adjusted sack ranked 27th in the league with only 4 quarterback playing this week. Will have a higher interception rate than Blake Bortles, with a respectable adjusted sack rate of 6.6%. Chicago is in a great spot to get after the quarterback and generate turnover, and they are a minus 2.5 home favorite. This is the first time they've been favored at home. Yep. So let's go over the tight ends real quick. Basically, this is the week to pay up for tight ends. I'm gonna play a lot of mid-tier wide receiver and then mix them in with paying up for tight end. I really like Delaney Walker, number 1. Number 2, Jimmy Graham. Number 3, Travis Kelce. And then after that, I will not pay up for Olsen and Gronkowski unless I absolutely have to with a stack. But it'll be very low ownership for me for them. I have Zach Ertz as one of my top GPP tight end. Zach Ertz, he still got a lot of touches last week. I mean, let's see real quick. Yeah, he played about 80+% of the snaps, and he ran about 32 of the 37 routes that on passing attempt. It's just he just didn't he didn't produce, but you know, you gotta forgive and forget. And I like Zach Ertz's position against, excuse me, against Washington. They're ranked bottom third in the league against tight end. If you want to beat the Redskins, you're gonna beat them down the middle. And okay, so the tight end or the slot receiver has averaged 6 catches and 65 yards against the Redskins this year. For me, that's money. And I'm gonna take Zach Ertz at 5,400, I believe he is on FanDuel. Yeah, 5,400 on FanDuel. And I think he's, see, I want to double check. 4,000 on Draftkings. But another players that I like is Kobe Fleener, the GPP throw in, but it's very high risk, so keep in mind. But yeah, that is my breakdown for this week for GPPs. And if you have any questions or comment, go ahead and just post it on the comment section. I will be doing a live video tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So please tune in, and best of luck this weekend. Once again, I hope you guys win money, because if I don't, it makes me happy if you guys do on my advice. But let's kill it together. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it. Bye.